How's it going, everyone? Dylan, Carlo here from All You Can Board. We got a different kind of video for you today. This is a little bit more relaxed. This is a channel update video. We haven't really done one of these before. I think we did our anniversary video.
Yeah, the 1 year.
Yeah, this is just a pure channel update. We want to update you on some things that are happening behind the scenes, some changes you're going to be seeing, exciting changes to the channel, and some things you should probably be aware of going forward for the rest of the year. So the first thing we're going to just jump right into because we have a lot of things to cover. We don't want to take up a whole bunch of your time. The first one, the biggest one, is we are moving studios. So we won't get into all the details here, but there has been some life changes, and this whole setup here is going to be gone. So what does that mean for you guys? Not a whole lot. The content's going to be the same. Honestly, the backdrop and everything might end up looking very similar. Like it could be in a different room. You might feel like a little bit of a different vibe, different look, but generally it's going to be the same. But we are moving studios. That is happening when we're recording this next week. So at some point you might see a bit of a disruption for, maybe a slowdown in videos for, I would say, like maybe a few days, a week, whatever the case may be. There's going to be some adjustments, some stuff we have to do. But again, it shouldn't affect too much of our content. It'll just mean a little bit of a different feel, which, hey, after we've been doing this for so long, it'll be kind of neat to have a bit of a change and to shake things up a little bit. So that is the biggest one you guys will see, studio move. Before we go into the next one, the one thing I think we both want to touch on is just, so when we started 2021, we set goals for ourselves, just like when we first started the channel, which was at the start of 2020. And we had said we wanted to hit by the end of the year 2,000 subs. It's now just about June, not even June, and we're just about to hit 2,500 subs, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I am just so unbelievably thankful for the support that we've seen and the continued support we see. When every time we go a day and we keep getting like 15 or 20 new subs a day, it boggles my mind. Don't think for a second we take it for granted, because I never thought we'd be at the point where we were gaining that many fans that quickly and have people interacting with us constantly in the comments and saying such wonderful things. I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to throw it to Carlo here, but I just want to say thank you. It is it just feels so great to have your guys' support, and we can't wait to see where it's going to go from here. So.
Yeah. No, we joke sometimes, like, you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and we've gained, like, some subscribers. So, like, we just gained some subscribers while sleeping. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then, like, you go through the workday and you come back and check, and there's comments on the videos. Like, I love how much you guys have all been getting involved in the comments section. Keep it up. We love the kind of community we're building here, and we want to keep that going. So, yeah, thank you so much for all the support so far.
Yeah. So the next thing we want to jump to is we just want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff coming in the future. So nothing is really going to be changing in terms of what kind of content you're seeing from us. There are just going to be some new additions and some things we want to explore for a variety of reasons. So let's talk quickly about like some upcoming games. So there are some games that we have content upcoming for that is hinging a lot on where things happen to be with the pandemic and the restrictions we're facing here up in Manitoba. So, and
a lot of it is also delays in Kickstarter shipments too that we've been waiting on. A lot of them also due to the pandemic, right?
So I'm going to mention some games that you're going to be seeing content coming from me, or that I could think of, and I think Carlo will have some as well, from not only Kickstarter shipments, but just some games that we already have that we're just waiting to properly do content on. So we did just receive Oath. We're super excited about that. This is one that I just cannot wait to dive into and do content on. We do have to wait until we can play with 3 and more people, because right now we with our restrictions here, we cannot meet up with more than just me and Carlo. So when we can, we're going to be playing Oath. We're going to be bringing you a review. We're going to be bringing you some content on that. We're really excited to do that. You guys are just going to have to wait a little bit longer to see it. But we are, the box, and I've looked in that box like 3 or 4 times because I just love the components and the way everything looks. So
hopefully will be worth the wait. And it's the type of game that while we want to get the content out quickly, it's also the game that if we only play it once or twice, the content we put out won't be as good. So we do want to get it played, like Dylan said, higher player counts and enough times to give you guys a thorough look at it. But yeah,
totally. And then we do have a bunch of games that I don't want to talk about them all right here, but we have a bunch of games from some publishers that we should be receiving in the next few months over the summer. So you might see some new games that we'll have content on as they arrive to us. But again, it's going to depend when they get shipped out and when they arrive. So I won't go through all those, but needless to say, we do have some brand new releases that we should be covering as well. I know you have a bunch of Kickstarters that have even just started arriving today.
Sprawl, like Allopolis, which is the Sprawlopolis with Agropolis and all the expansions and all that. I recently got Trick Shot, which is like a tabletop little hockey game with miniatures. Got Cascadia coming in a little while. Relics of Rajavihara, which is a solo game, which maybe this is a good point to transition into another sort of half-part announcement for the channel, which is I'm going to be a dad in the beginning of September. My wife and I are expecting. And so going back to what I mentioned, that game, Relics of Rajavihara, that's a solo game. I'm going to be having probably a lot more solo content coming on the channel. I've sort of been racking up some solo games over the past couple months in anticipation for spending a lot more time at home and just trying to find some gaming on my own when I can. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely have a lot of solo games covered in the next few months.
You gotta have them one constantly set up on the table. So
yes,
if you have to wake up in the middle of the night,
have one at home,
and you're trying to like rock back to sleep, you can with the other hand be playing, one of the games and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. So. Yeah, thought of this all already, way ahead of you. So yeah, solo games. Now would also be a good time, I think, to touch on Keyforge.
Sure. Maybe. Yeah, of course.
So just in terms of what else you guys can expect from me, maybe around some of the solo coverage, we have seen some really good response to the Keyforge video that we put out recently about getting into Keyforge in 2021. Yeah, I think Dylan's kind of now attempted to start getting back into it as well after he's seen kind of the response, and we've been talking about it. He's been getting excited about it too. So I'm definitely going to be having some Keyforge content coming up, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention, one game I want to touch on, it's not going to be content you'll see until later in the year, but I do want to tip you guys off that it is coming. We will be doing some heavy Frosthaven content when it arrives later this year. It's probably not going to be arriving to us until, I would imagine, October, if I had to guess. But when it arrives, we are going to be diving in. We're probably going to be doing videos on all the new classes, both the starting ones as well as the ones that are unlockable, and we'll have spoiler content as well there. We're going to be talking about the scenarios. We might do some playthroughs. There's a whole bunch of stuff we're talking about, but needless to say, in the same way that we've been tackling Marvel and Keyforge content, you can expect some really heavy Gloomhaven content covering Frosthaven specifically. So if you're a fan of that, keep your eyes out for that, because we're going to have a bunch of that as well.
Yeah, that was your number one most anticipated game of the year, which also mine, which was Guards of Atlantis 2, should also be coming around July or August, and I'll be doing some hopefully extensive content on that as well. So
then I do want to say a quick thanks also to mentioning Marvel to the Marvel community. We've obviously done a whole bunch of Marvel Champions content. You guys have probably seen it's one of our games we cover very extensively. I love Marvel Champions, and seeing the response in the community and having them support us in the way that they have for the content that we're creating for this game has been absolutely phenomenal. So we actually, as we're recording this, we just released a new video as well, and there's obviously going to be tons more content coming in the future. So don't worry, we are not going to change anything about the way we're covering Marvel content. If anything, we're more enthused to cover it. And one of these days, I'm going to get Carlo as into it as I am, and next thing you know, you're going to see him doing some reviews and stuff on Marvel content.
Exactly.
So so that's the
wait, one more game. I just want to mention just I know we shouldn't talk about too many more games, but we will have a very interesting game that's kind of outside of the zone of what we would normally cover on this channel. All I will say is it's kind of a war type game with some political intrigue and stuff, and that'll be on Kickstarter in a couple weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah,
we're excited that we got a preview copy of that, so yeah, some really cool stuff coming up there. Definitely a game we normally don't tackle, so it's been very interesting for sure. So basically the last thing I want to talk about is just, I touched on a little bit earlier, but we're obviously dealing with a lot of restrictions here in Manitoba. To be honest, I think we've been ranked like one of the worst out of all provinces and states in North America. We're like currently the worst in terms of cases per capita or something like that. So things are obviously pretty bad here. We are in heavy lockdown. The only reason me and Carlo are able to even get together is because I live alone, and we have the rule where I can have a designated visitor, and Carlo is my designated visitor because of our AYCV commitments. Obviously, it makes the most sense. So that's been really great that we've been able to continue, but it means that we haven't been able to play in-person games with pretty much anyone. So I have a bunch of games here that I covered a long time ago, even as far back as November, like Title Blades, that I did How to Play on, and I've been wanting to review, and I still have not played that with more than 2 players, just because it has not been possible. So you might have been wondering why you've only seen a few reviews from us over the past little while. Jaws of the Lion, Carlo did. He also did Calico. A lot of that is just because we can't properly review games if we can't play it with the right player counts. So we have a lot of games that we want to review, and as soon as we can meet up with people, we're going to be bugging all of our friends to come down and be our guinea pigs to play some of these, so we can finally give you our thoughts on things like Oath and Title Blades and Holler Tau and there's so many.
Well, even we had How to Play videos recently for like Beyond the Sun, Lost Ruins of Arnak, and Nidavellir, or all these other games that like we might do reviews for those too down the online. So
yeah, and we want to do more comparisons like we do with Castles of Tuscany and Burgundy, but again, it's just we're lacking some of the play time with the right player counts. So just so you guys know, we're doing everything we can to help get to the point where we're able to do that stuff again. Both of us have received our first vaccination shots.
A couple weeks ago now.
Yeah, so we're expecting to be able to get our second shots by the latest July, which means that it's going to come to a point very soon where we're going to be able to, kick this thing, turn the corner, get back to, regular times and be able to play with more people. And then you guys are going to see a bunch more review content from us and us being able to cover some games that we just we've had to turn down some because we just cannot do them justice. Yeah. So that's the last one. Is just, if you've been wondering, we do have more review content coming. It is important to us, and we can't wait to be able to bring you guys our thoughts and hear what you guys think of some of that content and how we can, improve it and do it differently. So really, the last thing I want to mention, and unless I'll kick it to you for anything you want to say, is if there's anything you guys want to see from us in the next, back half of this year, in the next 6 months, even going into the next year, let us know. We're at the point now where, as this pandemic ends, there's so many opportunities to explore new things, and just like you guys expressed the enjoying the Keyforge content, and we're now doing more Keyforge content because of that. If there's stuff you guys want to see and there's enough of a call for it, we're happy to jump on that. The only other thing I want to mention, because I think this was really exciting, and it will be exciting, especially next year, is when the pandemic is over, I think both of us, top of our list is we want to attend conventions. We want to start meeting some of you guys, other content creators, other fans, as soon as it's possible and it's safe to do so, and we're able to travel, whether it's in Canada or whether it's in North America or whether one day it's in Europe, to some of the big ones. We want to be there. We want to play games with you guys. We want to meet you guys, talk to you, and do all that fun stuff. So we're hoping that the first one could potentially be next year. I think that would be a dream, but as soon as we can, it's going to be on the menu. So on the menu, you can board. It makes sense. Is there anything you wanted to add? Anything I missed?
No, I would say that's pretty much it. Just to echo what Dylan said, I love all the engagement in the comments, and like Dylan said, let us know what other type of stuff you want to see, or if there's anything, honestly, that you haven't enjoyed or that you think we can do better. We're in the comments as much as we can be. We're open to this type of feedback. We're always trying to improve, and we don't take it personally if you guys want to point anything out that we can do better. So let us know. Yeah,
and I'm gonna get real here for one quick second too. I just want to add on one other thing. No, seriously. This has obviously been a super difficult and trying time for a lot of people in the world. It's been, there's been a lot of stuff going on into different degrees in different areas of the world, but I think everyone's felt it on some level. For us personally, that's all I can really speak to. We started AYCB 2 months before the pandemic started. This has been, for at least for me, I don't want to speak for you or anything, but I think you echo a lot of the same thoughts. This has been something that has been such a positive for both of us. To get us through this, to be an outlet, to be a bright spot through everything going on. To be locked down and to be able to find an outlet for creativity and passion, all that kind of stuff. It means so much to me personally. Not only the response, but just having all the support that you guys have given us has allowed us to have this outlet and allowed us to have this way to have such a positive thing go on in negative times. So I just want to say, I know I said it before, but I really mean it. Thank you so much for all the support you've shown us and for all the support you've given us, because it's really made all the difference for me, for us, in terms of getting through this. And it's allowed us to find a new community of people to connect with and to have fun with and to find things to get excited about, and especially to keep games entrenched in our lives when it's hard to play games. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all the support you've given us. Yeah, well said. I won't ruin it by trying to modify that anyway. Perfect. That's pretty much all we got. So that's a channel update. If you guys have any questions, if there's anything that we said here that you want elaboration on, or you have some other questions about what this means for anything, let us know in the comments. We'll obviously respond. Otherwise, we'll try to do this maybe once a year or twice a year, anytime there's a reason to really give you guys a peek behind the curtain, let you guys know what's going on. But otherwise, we're moving next week. We'll have a new studio, and otherwise everything should be pretty much what you guys would expect, with some new content as we can play more games. All right, thanks guys. Thanks everyone. See ya.